5.1, solving equations. How do we use the properties of equality, undoing, to solve one-step add, subtract, multiply, and divide equations with integers? So whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. It's like a balance. So if I take 12 off of this side, if I don't take 12 off of this side, the balance would be unbalanced. So on this side, I'd have to remove 12, which would leave me with 5 left here. So now they are balanced. X would be 5. So today, you're going to be able to see a lot of your answers, but it's about showing your answers. How do you show them? So first, add or subtract. You must show your work. So let's look at this first one. Write down negative 45 equals x minus 27. Okay, so draw our line down because whatever we do, this is a balance. To one side, we do to the other. In this case, we want x by itself, so we're going to add 27 to both sides. So cancel, cancel. Now you need to remember the signs are different, so I subtract, and I would get 18, and it's a negative 18 equals x today. So we want to make sure we have those positive and negatives. So in this one, 18 has a positive sign out in front of it, so I would have to minus 18 on both sides. N is equal to two negatives together, means their signs are the same, so I must add them, and I would get a negative 58. Go ahead and try the next two. Stop the video now, come back, and see how you did. All right, this one's tricky because of the way it's written. It could have just been written as x minus 31, and then you would see it, but in this case it's a negative 31 or a minus 31, so we would need to add 31 to both sides, even though there's an adding sign here. Because if we change the adding sign to a minus a negative 31, the two minuses become adding anyways. So x is left with 47. All right, and negative 27, so let's add 27 to both sides. I feel like we did this one right here. We did, and I get a negative 18 equals x. All right, how do we show multiplying and dividing? Well, for instance, this already is dividing. We want to get a by itself, so the inverse of dividing is multiplying. Multiplying we show on the side because it's like fractions. Remember, this would be over 1, and you can simplify both of these to make them go away. So this is left with a equals a negative 40. Remember, yes, you must show your work. So now let's go over how to divide one. Dividing is a fraction, so I divide both sides by 5. So x is left with, 5 goes into 9 on 4, so 5 times 9 is 45. A negative divided by a positive is a negative 19. Go ahead and do these last two and see how you do. All right, you must show your work. So I multiply by a negative 9. I multiply by a negative 9. T is equal to, 9 is 189. A negative times a negative is a positive, so my answer is 189. This case, I must divide by 45. Divide by 45. Cancel, cancel. Ooh, a negative 45 because I want to get rid of everything out of there. And so now we need to find out what is 135 divided by 45 is 3, and it's a positive divided by a negative, so it's a negative 3. All right, real life. You are going to now set up the one-step equation. Jim is selling teddy bears for Student Council's Christmas fundraiser. Jim sells 20 red bears, and he also sells some green bears. He sells 37 bears in all. So he sells 20 red. We don't know how many green, but he sells a total of 37. So we would add, and this would match letter A. All right, set up the equation for this one. Marcy's Apple Watch cost $121, less than her Xbox One. Her Apple Watch is $329. How much did her Xbox cost? Stop the video and give it a try. All right, so her Apple Watch is $121 less than the Xbox. So Her Apple Watch cost $329. So it costs $100, but her Apple Watch costs $329. How much did her Xbox cost? So if we have the Apple Watch is $329, which is $121 less than her, which is her Xbox is $121 less than it. So we want to solve for the Xbox. So draw my line down. I would add 121 to both sides. And X will be 10, 4, 5, $450. So her Xbox would be $450. This one's tricky. 288 pens are boxed by the dozen. How many boxes are needed? Give it a try. Okay, so if they are boxed by the dozen and we have a total of 288 pens and we know there's 12 in a box, we want to know how many boxes there are and we want to know how many boxes and there's 12 in a box. If I would have divided, that would have been how many were in each box. So now I want to divide both sides by 12. And when I do that, B equals 3. So my solution is 3 boxes. Go ahead and get started on your assignment.